back in November, Joe and I took a trip to Las Vegas, Nevada. Neither of us are really into the club, casino, Las Vegas Strip kind of thing, so you won't be seeing any of that in the video. So you might be asking, what are we doing in Las Vegas anyways? Well, we made it our mission to find out things that we can do that's not your typical Las Vegas trip. If you've watched my previous video, this made for a perfect opportunity to take along with me my Fuji GA645 to see how it is as a travel camera. I also brought along with me my Leica M4-P for 35mm. After our flight landed, we checked into our hotel and decided our first mission was the Valley of Fire State Park. I loaded up my cameras the night before and we woke up at about 4 a.m. to catch a sunrise. As the sun came up, we could finally get a glimpse of the incredible rock formations, and I was blown away by the beautiful colors of the rocks and how they contrasted so nicely with the blue sky. After sunrise, we found a couple hikes to do in the area, and I'm glad they were easy because Joe is still recovering from an ankle injury. Without having to go very far at all, I was completely in love with the area. There were just so many colors and lines and textures that were so fun to capture. television says.
Yeah, it's neat.
We spent more time on this trail than I'd like to admit because we were following these tiny little footprints in the sand trying to find little lizards. Unfortunately, there was no luck for us and we spent the rest of the day kind of just driving around and seeing as many spots in the area as we could. For the evening, we decided to try and find somewhere cool in the city to catch the sunset. We came across this beautiful little park called Hollywood Park, and there's this nice little recreational area with a nice view on the east side of the mountain, and then looking over towards the west, there is a nice view of the distant city. One odd thing about this spot, we saw multiple people walk past where we were towards the mountain, and as they got further in the distance, we kind of lost sight of them and we never saw them again. It didn't look like there was anything in that direction, and I even checked Google Earth to see what's back there, and I couldn't find anything. There's maybe some secret tunnels or something because there's these stairs that go up to nowhere, but I'm really curious to know where these people went. One of the people that walked over that way was this man here, who stepped up on the rock, said some prayers, and continued on his way. The light was looking really nice, and I kindly asked for his photo. So many helicopters right now. 1, 2, On day 2, we woke up at 4 a.m. to catch the sunrise at Hoover Dam.
There.
Arriving when it was completely dark and seeing everything come to life as the sun came up really put everything into perspective of how big this place really is. Unfortunately, I forgot my Allen key at home for my tripod plate, so I was only able to take some long exposures on my digital camera, which is the camera that was recording video. I'm just gonna load up some Fuji 400H in the GA645. The sun is starting to come up and we're getting some colors. Once the sun got higher in the sky, we decided to explore the area by foot. It's one thing to drive, but to walk it is a totally different experience. I'd highly recommend it if you're visiting the Hoover Dam. The sun did get really bright, so it made it a little bit difficult to get a proper exposure. So I metered for the brightest highlights on the rocks and then the darkest shadows in the canyon, and took the average of that and basically just hoped for the best. Okay, right now we're trying to figure out what is reflecting that pattern on the wall.
I think I figured it out. Is it the window reflecting off of here? This reflects back? I don't know. Or is it something to do with this machine? No. I don't understand. It's so confusing. Either way, this is the coolest bathroom I've ever been in. After I went, I called Cam and I said, Cam, you need to come look at this bathroom because it is so cool.
So I'm just trying to line up a shot where it looks like the reflection kind of continues on with the mountain in the back there. It looks kind of cool. We'll see if it turns out. I thought that this was a really cool composition here with the reflections on the doors and then the opening to the view on the right. With the right composition, the rocks almost look like they lined up with the reflection in the view, making it almost look like it's one continuous rock, but it's not. I took a couple photos and I'm actually happier with the photos I took on my digital camera. And I played around with the X-Pan crop and I think it works a lot better because it cuts out the top and the bottom and makes it a lot more interesting to look at.
What are you doing? Oh. We're here having breakfast.
For the rest of the day, we took it pretty easy. We walked around this cute little town called Boulder City and then played some disc golf.
The last shot was better.
Our third day on our trip was a lot more chill. We talked about how much we loved Boulder City, but didn't spend a lot of time there. So we actually ended up deciding that we would go back for sunset. All of these photos were shot on Flickfilm Aurora 800, and I actually shot the Aurora on this film stock a little while back, but I didn't end up finishing the roll. So quick tip, if you don't finish a roll and you want to take it out, or you want to swap it for a different roll of film, you can actually just note the frame that you're on and then rewind the film. Just make sure that you either feel for the leader to come off the take-up spool so you still have the leader, or you can use one of these cheap little film retriever tools that you can get on Amazon for like 10 or 15 bucks. Then when you want to shoot the film again, load it as normal, put the lens cap on. I like to set my shutter speed to the fastest setting and then set the aperture to the smallest, so in this case f16 or f22. Then what you want to do is just shoot in advance until you get to the frame that you noted earlier. I like to go one past this frame just to be sure you don't get an accidental double exposure. And this came in really handy for me because I didn't want a half-shot roll of film in my camera to go through the x-ray at the airport, so I was able to take it out, get it hand checked, and then load it and shoot it later. Joe found this beautiful little park and I got so excited because it's known for its bighorn sheep. This might actually be probably my favorite part of the trip. run out of light and I don't have a tripod that I can shoot this with, so just trying to finish the roll. That's it. Guess what's in my backpack this whole time? Our last day in Vegas was pretty chill. We didn't have a ton of time before we had to go back to the airport, but we did have enough time to make a quick drive out to Red Rocks. We basically picked one of the closest hikes in the area, which was only a 25-minute drive from where we were. The area reminded me a little bit more of Sedona, and we spent some time just enjoying watching some of the climbers in the area. I finished up my roll of film on our way out of the park, and we kind of wrapped up our trip there. We quickly realized there's a lot more you can do in Las Vegas than just the Las Vegas Strip. We packed in a lot of stuff in a short amount of time on this trip, and we'd be thrilled to come back and visit again. Taking the GA645 with me was a really great decision. It's an amazing travel film camera, and I got to shoot medium format without having to lug around anything big and bulky. The quality is outstanding, and it never felt like it really got in the way. And for me, I like to pack fairly light and keep things simple when I travel. There's been too many times where I packed all my gear or too much gear, and I ended up only shooting like 1 or 2 cameras. It's much easier to think about photography and enjoy the experiences on your trip when you're not always having to decide what camera and what lens to use. As always, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you subscribe for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.